All right, thank you very much. Hello, everybody. It's your good friend Possible here, and I'm back in action with another look at another movie that came out recently. And believe it or not, this time we are doing a movie that came out recently. It is, of course, Focus, as you know. This, of course, stars Will Smith and Margot Robbie. One thing I want to say right off about this movie is one, I liked it. I thought it was a really good movie, very well acted, very well written, very well performed. But the one thing that got me about this movie that I found very impressive was that it was done very chronologically. In this day and age where you have movies that tell the story in modern day, and yet at the same time they will flash back to what happened earlier. This movie doesn't do this. This movie starts at the beginning when these two meet. You immediately fall in love with these characters. That's one thing I gotta give this movie right away. You immediately fall in love with these characters. And she's the beginner, he's the seasoned professional, and he shows her the ropes. And they do this big job together with a huge team of con artists. Fast forward 3 years later, after they have to split up for reasons that will not be revealed, at least in this dialogue, I should say. But they split up now, 3 years. He's working a different job, and all of a sudden, she comes back into his life, and it kind of messes him up during that job. That's the basis of this movie. The point is this: first off, it's two separate jobs. Okay. Normally, in this day and age, when people want to be like Christopher Nolan, who loves chronologically challenged movies where you see the future and the past and the present all intertwined, this movie goes in order. And I found that to be a very refreshing change. Now, leave us not forget that Focus is a con game. So if you're expecting this to be a better version than Leverage, you are going to be somewhat disappointed. Leverage, of course, had the team dynamic that held it together, So you had the variety. Yes, you had the mastermind, but you had Parker, and you had Sophie, and you had your hacker, and you had your hitter, and you had your thief, and your actual con artist, So you had this group dynamic that really keeps it going and keeps it fresh. Focus didn't have that. Focus, well, it has Will Smith, plain Will Smith. Basically, even though his name is Nicky in the show, he is still Will Smith. Basically, he's the cool, collected. He's really making a comeback from his failure after Earth. And you could tell a little bit also that he wasn't really working as hard, but he didn't have to. He's playing a character he's played a lot before, so he gets to flow with it, gets to roll with it, and just basically enjoy it. And even though this isn't his charming stuff that we are used to, he doesn't have the energy or passion that he used to. He's still there. He's still present. And I think in some ways that what kind of brought the show down a little bit was that it wasn't Will at his best, but Will Smith is still good, and that's the biggest part about Focus that I cannot harp on enough, and I'll come back to that in a second. Also, we have Margot Robbie, and it's about these two. You know, she is still the amateur, which I found very cool. Margot Robbie is willing to be very vulnerable in comparison to other heroines and other women I've seen in movies, but she's also willing to have fun. She was the shining light in this movie because she was so enjoyable to watch, and she helped to bring about the question marks because you really didn't know who she was. But then again, this is a con game. You're not supposed to know. You're not supposed to trust what you see. And even though this lacked the big twists that you were hoping for, it still had good twists. If there's any one complaint that I had about Focus was that it is true. It is not great, but it's not bad either. And what is wrong with just a good movie? I think one thing that did go wrong with Focus also was that they went for the rated R, and they really didn't have to. If you just cut out certain points that you didn't have to have, this could have been a rated PG-13 movie, and I think it would have done better rated PG-13 as opposed to rated R. If you were going to make it rated R, you should have done more for the hard R, you know? So I think that would have been helpful also, but that's just my opinion. Focus is a see it. because it's not bad enough to be a pass. It's not questionable enough to be a decide. It's safe. It's a safe movie to watch. Really not safe for kids, but safe for adults to go and enjoy themselves and have a good time. There are good moments in this film. And in the end, that's what it's really all about. Having those good moments. So focus is to see it. I enjoyed it, and I think you would too. Is it theater worthy? Yeah, maybe if you have a coupon or something. But definitely DVD. If you see it on TV, watch it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. All right, guys, that's it for me today. We'll see you at the theaters.